Well, hello again. This is Pam, and it's Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. Welcome to the reading of the Record Courier. We have no new area deaths listed in the online edition of the Courier, so let's begin our reading today with our first article. Prosecutor, rioting teens could face adult charges by Jeff Saunders. 4 teenage males facing multiple felonies following a riot at the Portage-Geauga County Juvenile Detention Center in Shalersville on Friday night are all currently being charged as juveniles, but that could change. We're taking a look at that, Portage County Prosecutor Victor Viglucci said on Monday. We haven't made decisions about charging them as adults. We're going to take a look at their records, get a little more detail on what happened, and the extent of any injuries, and we'll make a decision on that down the road. Viglucci said 2 of the teens charged are 16 and 17, and 2 are 15. According to a press release issued Monday by Jay Leeworthy, the detention center's new superintendent, who started his job on Monday, multiple detainees allegedly began an organized assault on other detainees at about 8:19 p.m. on Friday. Detention staff immediately responded and were able to separate the victims of the assault into a safe area of the detention center, Leeworthy said in a release. Once the residents were separated, the aggressive youth turned their aggressive behavior towards staff. 2 of the juveniles were then able to leave the secured living area and began to demand property by deploying fire extinguishers in a hallway and the facility's cafeteria and gymnasium, he said. Following emergency procedures, the Portage County Sheriff's Office was called, and sheriff's personnel, along with Ravenna Police and an Ohio State Highway Patrol K-9 unit, arrived at about 8:22 p.m. Sheriff's Chief Deputy Ralph Spitarelli said 7 detainees were allegedly involved in the all-out brawl, but 3 responded to commands from the corrections staff and returned to their housing units. A 3rd detainee also tried to escape from the pod, Spitarelli said, but was secured. There were 3 correction officers on scene that night, plus a 4th in the center's central control. The 2 escaped detainees, Spitarelli said, took fire extinguishers and used them to try to gain access and take control of the central control area by harming the detention officer staffing the post. But the detention officer was not injured. Foam from the fire extinguishers was used to cover windows, so deputies arriving could not see the area. According to Leeworthy, however, the 2 detainees were found in the gymnasium and detained at about 8:29 p.m. Damage was minor. Manawa-Shalerville Fire Department evaluated the detention staff and deputies for injuries sustained during the fight. Leeworthy said that none of the staff needed medical care. Viglucci said the 2 older teens are being charged with aggravated rioting and escape, both third-degree felonies. 4th-degree felony disrupting a public service, and 3 counts of assault and single counts of vandalism and possessing criminal tools, all 5th-degree felonies. The 17-year-old boy was being held in the detention center on a prior felony, assault charge, and probation violation in connection with a previous aggravated assault charge. Viglucci said the 16-year-old was being held on a felony grand theft of a motor vehicle charge. The 2 15-year-olds are charged with 3rd-degree felony aggravated rioting and 3 counts of 5th-degree felony assault, and 1 is also charged with 3rd-degree felony escape and 1st-degree misdemeanor assault. Viglucci said both 15-year-olds were being held in the detention center on misdemeanors, including 2 counts each of assault, with 1 boy also charged with criminal damaging and the other with resisting arrest and obstructing official business. Viglucci said the prosecutor's office is checking to see if any additional charges are appropriate, but he believes that not much more, if anything, will be added. Rudiger resigns from Streetsboro Council after Cuyahoga County arrest by Caitlin McGarvey. Streetsboro Councilman John Rudiger has resigned from his council seat after being charged of sending inappropriate photos of himself to a 13-year-old Mansfield Heights boy. In his letter, Rudiger wrote that it was an honor to serve the city as the Ward 2 City Council representative. However, with the allegations that have been brought against him, he felt he could no longer effectively serve the people he was elected to represent. Also, I know that a large spotlight has been brought upon the city, some of you and also my family, which has made things very difficult for many people that I care about, he said. Under the circumstances, I have decided to resign my position, effective immediately. Rudiger continued to say the decision tore him apart because he has not been found guilty of anything. He is working hard towards clearing his name, but at the same time, he must devote all of his time towards defending himself. Rudiger is facing a felony charge in Cuyahoga County, where he is accused of sending inappropriate photos of himself to a 13-year-old boy via Snapchat, Mayfield Heights police said. Authorities said the boy's parents reported on April 25th that they believed an adult male had contacted their son and sent photos to him via the social media platform, and that the same male had come to their home earlier that morning. Police said they identified the man as Rudiger, and he was arrested on April 29th. Rudiger wrote in a text message sent to the Record Courier last week, "I intend to plead not guilty. I have hired a lawyer and will defend myself." According to Lyndhurst Municipal Court records, he is charged with fifth-degree felony, disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, and posted 10% of a $5,000 bond on Monday. Police said additional charges are possible. Rudiger, 42, was elected to Streetsboro City Council in November 2011. Prior to his resignation, he was serving his third four-year term. He had previously served as council president. And now, Kent State earns MAC women's team title. A dominating effort in the field events and some key finishers in the sprints lifted the Kent State to the women's team title at the 2021 Mid-American Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championship, which concluded on Saturday in Oxford. Gabby Bailey took first place in the shot put and discus, followed by teammate Grace Tennant in both events. Discus, I'm so sorry. In shot put, and Gabby Bailey took first place in the shot put and discus, followed by teammate Grace Tennant in both events. Bailey threw a season best 55-1 in the shot put and a 183-5 in the discus, while Tennant checked in at 51 to 1.75 in the discus and a personal best 178-2 in the discus. Tennant also claimed the javelin title with a personal best throw of 151-3 and was named Most Valuable Performer after scoring 26 points at the meet. Freshman Leah Pasqualetti completed her sweep of the 2021 MAC pole vault titles by clearing 13 to 5.75. Ruby Greenwood earned 8 crucial points in the 400-meter dash after beating her previous personal best nearly 2 seconds to finish third in Friday's prelims. Greenwood shaved just over 1 second off that time and crossed the line in 53.88 to place second. Her time is the 5th fastest in Kent State history. Kent State claimed its first MAC women's outdoor title since 2014. Bill Lawson was named the MAC's Women Coach of the Year for the 10th time. On the men's side, the Flash's 4 times 100-meter relay team of Dijon Manning, Asa Hodrick, Xavier Williams, and Jaheen Jones took first in 40.38. Hodrick also teamed up with Corey Davis, the second. Kylie Summer and Quentin Cooks to finish second in the 4x400 relay, 3.14.69, and took second in the 100 meters of 10.56 and 200 meter 20.77. Scott Benko won the javelin throw by more than 13 feet with a mark of 206-10. Anthony Milliner sat in third, entering his final triple jump attempt before leaping past the competition with a personal best mark of 50-10.75. Christian Neffler captured the pole vault crown, improving his personal best by by 4 inches and winning with a height of 17.3, which ranks third in KSU's history. Kent State finished fourth in the men's standing with 113 points. Ohio will use just 20% of week's COVID-19 vaccine doses by Jackie Bouchard. Ohio will take only 20% of the COVID-19 vaccine doses allocated to the state this week among slumping demands. Ohio was allocated 324,960 first doses this week. The state has ordered just 65,370 first doses to arrive in the state this week, an Ohio Department of Health spokeswoman said Monday. More could be used this week. The state is banking 139,230 doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for use in children ages 12 to 15, once the vaccine receives emergency approval from the Federal Drug and Food Administration. That's expected as soon as this week. Those doses will be stored with the rest of Ohio's stockpile at the federal level. As of last week, Ohio had stockpiled 480,180 first COVID-19 vaccine doses, about 10% of the total number of first doses administered statewide. Vaccine is precious, Health Department spokeswoman Alicia Schouts wrote in an email. Many providers in Ohio have adequate vaccine supply on hand and requested that additional doses not be shipped to them the week of May 10th. Last week, White House officials said states could request a smaller or larger number of doses than what was allocated to them. Unordered doses could be contributed to a national pool to divert to states and programs in need of more vaccines. Ohio will give about 120,000 doses of the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines to the pool this week. We feel it is important to contribute to this federal pool to ensure other states have adequate vaccine and because there may be a time when Ohio also needs to use this shared vaccine pool, Schultz wrote. The state's weekly allocation is separate from a federal stream that has sent an average of 150,000 doses per week to Ohio over the past several weeks for long-term care facilities, certain pharmacy chains, and the mass vaccination site in Cleveland. The number of those doses Ohio gets this week was not available Monday. Governor Mike DeWine is among 6 governors who plan to meet virtually with President Joe Biden on Tuesday to discuss how to encourage vaccination. The bipartisan group includes the governors of Utah, Massachusetts, Maine, Minnesota, and New Mexico. Ohio is in the bottom half of the states for vaccination rates. About 53% of residents age 18 and older have received at least one dose, according to the Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention. About 123,000 first doses were given in Ohio during the week ending May 2nd, 74% less than the roughly 477,400 given 4 weeks earlier, according to a USA Today Network Ohio analysis of state data. Mogador Family, Thankful for Miracle Train of Blessings by George W. Davis. A Mogador couple is counting its blessings for what it considers a miracle-filled journey since 2010, adopting 5 daughters and pulling through recent difficulties with help from its church community. Trade show vendors Tammy and Jim Palmer have seen the pandemic decimate their small handcrafted jewelry business, but their faith is unshaken. We believe God has used many situations, people, and environments to provide His mercies in our lives on this journey to our family. We are forever grateful, says Tammy, who went into business with Jim more than 30 years ago. They've been married for 24 years. The Palmers knew for years that adoption was their only way to have children, and they realized that dream with 5 girls who now call each other sisters. Nicole Mei Ling, 50, adopted in 2010. Jessica Min Feng, 14, adopted in 2011. Gloria Wu Kui, 12, adopted in 2013. Hope Yi Young, 11, adopted in 2017. And Hannah Jinghua, 8, adopted in 2019. The Palmers began their adoption journey during a business trip to China in 2006. Little did we know that our idea of borders would be changed forever, Tammy said during an interview last week at Maranatha Bible Church in Springfield Township. One particular moment during that first trip is emblazoned in her memory. Outside of a Kentucky Fried Chicken, there was a boy whose body was twisted up as he was being pushed towards me to beg, Tammy said. Something about this child's eyes and the condition of his broken body caused me to love him instantly. My heart would never be the same. Years later, that experience came around full circle when the couple was adopting Hannah, their youngest. She was born with Larson syndrome, a rare disease that damages bones and joints throughout the body. As I watched Hannah's introduction video and observed the way in which she was perfectly made with her twisted up, beautiful little self, I knew I had just laid eyes on our family's missing piece, Tammy said. We were told before meeting her that she was on a bit of a hunger strike in protest of being placed back in her orphanage while she underwent a correction surgery attempt, and that she would only eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. We knew then only God could give us a connection and confirmation like that. We loved her from the moment we laid eyes on her. Tammy also said that in 2015, while at Maranatha, she experienced a quick vision of a small wheelchair sitting at the end of the pew. I knew it was not for any of the children we had, but for the one or ones to come. I heard in my spirit that the one that owns this chair would not be needing it always, that it was a sometime chair. We were not talking about adding more children at the time. We also had agreed to no children with walking challenges, she said. By then, Tammy said the couple already was accustomed to moments when they felt divinely guided towards their next steps. With each child God brought to us, He prepared us ahead by showing us the way, giving us glimpses and provisions to get to each one. He helped us work through our struggles and reluctance until it felt like our own perfect plan. She said without such moments as signposts, she might never have connected the miracle train up. Pandemic wreaks havoc on family finances. When the pandemic hit in March 2020 in Northeast Ohio and the nation, the Palmers watched as their business was forced to close and their income was destroyed. But they received it in a big way from friends, fellow churchgoers, and even total strangers who heard about their difficulties. Suddenly, the Palmers were seeing gifts of all kinds, including money, food, and prayers coming from everywhere. It was a lot to process. We had always been able to do, and suddenly, after 30-some years, it's gone like that. It can be a little shocking, and if your health is taken away and you have to work 3 times as hard with 5 children, that can be a little shocking. It was overwhelming, Tammy said. Jim recalled that on Christmas Eve 2019, we were sitting at home, and I heard a knock on the door. There was nobody there, but there was an envelope on the door. I looked out to see if anybody was around, but saw nobody. I opened the envelope and found an extreme amount of money inside. To this day, I have no idea who the person who came up and put that money on the door. All I know is it was cash. Added Tammy, the thing of it is, we didn't earn that money and we didn't earn the provision. It's just God interceding. We knew that we had a big surgery need for Hannah. God told us, I'm going to open that door and you run with her. That door opened in October and it poured in. A Facebook friend had contacted the family to say, you guys need a time of refreshing. You won't believe this, but we just bought this beautiful condominium on the beach in North Carolina. It is fully wheelchair accessible and has elevators installed. We want you guys to come and stay, no charge, for a week and refresh. Tammy added, we went and got refreshed. I don't know if I could have made the trip to Hannah's surgery in January because I was so fried. I could barely move my fingers anymore to type. The same friend also said she and her husband wanted to gift money towards Hannah's surgery. They said they were looking for a place to donate to receive a tax deduction. The Palmers contacted their church and discovered that a benevolence program doesn't work that way. The leaders asked the Palmers how much money Hannah's surgery would cost. Maranatha Senior Pastor Butch Pursley said the church leadership created a benevolence to cover all of the family's travel, surgery, and other expenses. It was the most beautiful and unexpected gift, and has changed Hannah's life. Our purpose as the church is to do what God has revealed to us in the scripture as to what a church is supposed to be, Pursley said. Part of that role is taking care of the members of our church by ministering to the people who are here. Providence takes Palmers to Florida for crucial surgery. Bill and Jackie Garmier of Suffield Township were among those in the church community who rushed in to help the Palmers in their time of greatest need, volunteered to accompany the family to Florida for Hannah's surgery with a large motorhome named Providence. On January 11th, the Garmiers, who consider themselves the Palmers' children's honorary grandparents, and the Palmers left for Florida. Providence became the travelers' restaurant, restroom, and sleeping quarters for the next 77 days. On January 18th, when Jim, Tammy, and Hannah met for Hannah's evaluation at the Paley Orthopedic and Spine Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, Tammy said surgeon Dr. David Feldman took a look at Hannah's legs and said, "Palmers, go back to Ohio." He said her legs aren't going to sustain her through life, but doing nothing is not an option. Something has to happen here. This is going to be challenging. Hannah's legs are extremely difficult. I don't know what I'm going to do with them until I get into surgery. After 8 hours of surgery on each leg during a 12-day hospital stay, including 4 days in a critical care unit, Tammy said the surgeon told those present that Hannah would have to be in braces the rest of her life. 2 weeks later, however, she said Feldman told them, "This is a miracle. I can't believe what I'm seeing. She shouldn't be able to do all of these things." Tammy added that he then said Hannah should be in braces for 2 months and wouldn't need her walker and canes, nor her wheelchair. Tammy quoted the doctor, "This is a miracle. You people have a great amount of faith. Obviously, this has carried you through. I could just cry." In response to questions about Hannah's condition, surgery, and therapy, Feldman said in an email Friday that she is an amazing, motivated child. She has taken every obstacle and surgery as a path to recovery and more function. Yes, she is exceeding expectations in a rapid fashion, and in fact, this week is riding a bicycle. Acting children's doctors play a key role in the care. The family praised Dr. William Schrader, a surgeon at Akron Children's Hospital, and pediatric psychiatrist Dr. Catherine Mosier for their year-long work with Hannah before the trip to Florida. Tammy said both have experience working with Larson syndrome patients and had their first meeting with Hannah 2 days after she arrived from China in 2019. Multiple surgeries in her homeland had left Hannah with unstable legs that could break and braces that were wrong for what she needed. Last October, Hannah finally got strong enough to walk on her own. Before that, she was scooting and dragging herself on the floor. Now, she's unstoppable and even has a signature happy dance. Tammy said when they met her, Hannah told their guide in Mandarin, "Ask my parents if I will ever walk." Somewhat stunned by the question, Tammy said, "We didn't know the answer. We said we are going to do everything we can with God's help to help you with this, Hannah." That was our promise. And to be sitting here today, and after such a short time, to honor that promise to her and see her standing up and walking and being in a position as her new parents, you can't even know what that has done for her faith that's growing, and also for the peace of attachment and bonding. She has had to trust us with the darkest moments of her life. With pride in her voice, Tammy says, "Our family is adapting beautifully. God writes the best stories with broken pieces. We have our challenges and struggles, and every other family does, but we are making it through one day at a time. Life is full of joy as we witness. It is a choice each day as to which way we receive it. The work is hard, challenging, financially straining, but we are not doing it in our own power." What a great story. Up next, Rovers earn top speed, Falcons and G-Men close behind, by Jonah Rosenblum. Here are 8 things to know about this year's baseball brackets. 1. A number of Portage County baseball squads earn top speeds. Rootstown was the county's lone 1 seed as the Rovers carried a 17-2 record into the week, having not lost a Portage Trail Conference game since 2018. Field, which toppled Rootstown in the NICU Classic Saturday and is 16-4 on the season, and Garfield, which is close behind with 15 victories, earned 3 seeds. Number 8, Aurora, with its history of long postseason runs and its 5-game winning streak entering this week, is also extremely dangerous. Other top seeds locally include number 6 Mogador and number 8 Streetsboro, one of the area's most improved teams. Number 2, the Battle of Route 14 will be played once more. Number 8 Streetsboro will host number 24 Ravenna in the first round after the Rockets won both of their Metro Athletic Conference meetings. Streetsboro's pitching has proven effective against Ravenna, holding the Ravens to 3 runs over their 2 games. Number 3, third-seeded Field is also in the Division II Louisville District, but on the opposite side of the bracket from Ravenna and Streetsboro. The Falcons will host the winner of number 10 NDCL and number 20 East in a May 19th sectional final. Should it advance, Field would face number 7 Chardon, number 12 Poland Seminary, or number 22 Girard in a district semifinal. The Falcons are looking to advance to the district level for the first time since 2017, when they carried a 21-0 record to Canal Park, where it lost a 9-inning thriller to Northwest. This isn't Field's first time entering the postseason with a high seed, as it earned the 5 seeds in 2019, the 3 seeds in 2018, and the top seed in 2016 and 17. Number 4. Number 1 Rootstown also has a recent history of being seeded very highly. The Rovers were a 3 seed in 2019 when they advanced to district play, and a 2 seed in 2018. Rootstown's 2021 journey could begin against a familiar foe as it awaits the winner of number 19 Waterloo and number 16 Newton Falls. The Vikings, a longtime Portage County League and Portage Trail Conference rival of the Rovers, are one of the most improved programs in the area. Number 5, baseball has often been called a game of humility. That's true for hitters and top seeds. Local teams have certainly felt the burn of the sport's unpredictability. For example, before Rootstown advanced to district play in 2019, it suffered a devastating sectional final upset on its home field in 2018, as the 2 seed taking on number 7 Crestview. That same year, number 3 Field fell to number 6 Norton in another sectional final. Number 6. On the flip side, a low seed that could be dangerous is number 28 Roosevelt, a very young team that has lost a number of close suburban American games, including a pair of 2-run defeats to Aurora, as well as 1-run losses to Barberton and Talmadge. The Rough Riders host a fellow Suburban League squad and a Suburban American rival starting next year. In the first round in number 33 Cuyahoga Falls, their reward would be number 3 Hoover. Number 7. Number 3 Garfield could be in for an intriguing home sectional final against Ursuline. The Fighting Irish, who will host number 21 Crestwood in the first round, may have a sluggish record, but they play Howland, Poland Seminary, Salem, and St. Edward Close. And number 8 Mogador, 6-8, is the number 6 seed in the Division IV West Tournament hosted by Medina. Hillsdale 15-5, Dalton 14-6, Columbia Station 11-6, and Independence 8-4 are the top 4 seeds. The Wildcats own a win over Garfield and 2 over Coventry as their top victories. A win in the first round on May 18th would send Mogador to Columbia Station 2 days later for a sectional final. Well, friends, that concludes the reading of the Record Courier for Tuesday, May 12th. My name is Pam. Thank you for having me into your home today. Please be well until we are here together again. And as always, My greatest prayer for you is abundant blessings today.